Have you ever fallen in love with a car only to discover it has a secret twin with a different name? Prepare for a mind-bending journey behind the scenes of the automotive industry, where the illusion of choice often hides a surprising truth. Behind the dazzling lights of showrooms and promises of exclusivity, there's a powerful strategy that redefines what we think about the brands we love. We're talking about badge engineering, the art of transforming a single car into multiple models, each with its own identity, but sharing the same soul. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain to expose the automakers' best-kept secrets. We'll reveal 10 pairs of cars that, despite their distinct appearances, are essentially the same vehicle. You'll be shocked to discover how badge engineering not only optimizes production costs, but also influences the price you pay, the prestige you feel, and the loyalty you dedicate to a brand. Get ready to question everything you know about cars and to become a more conscious and informed consumer. From agile sports cars to robust SUVs and imposing pickup trucks, badge engineering is everywhere. We'll analyze each case, highlighting the impressive similarities and the subtle differences that attempt to justify the existence of clones. By the end of this journey, you'll not only see cars in a completely new way, but also be armed with the knowledge to identify true bargains and avoid marketing traps. Our first stop? The intense rivalry between the Toyota GR86 and the Subaru BRZ. Section 1. The luxury pickup bet. Mercedes-Benz X-Class and Nissan Frontier. When a brand synonymous with luxury and cutting-edge engineering decides to enter a segment as utilitarian as pickup trucks, expectations are sky-high. The Mercedes-Benz X-Class promised to be the pickup that would unite the best of two worlds, robustness and work capability with the refinement and sophistication of a Mercedes. However, the reality behind this launch in 2017 revealed a badge engineering strategy that generated more controversy than success. The X-Class was, in essence, a Nissan Frontier, or its global cousin, the Nissan Navara, in a fancy suit. Built on the same ladder frame platform as the Navara, the X-Class shared much of its mechanical components, including engines and the basic interior layout. Although Mercedes made an effort to differentiate the model with exclusive bodywork, more sophisticated interior materials, and, of course, its iconic logo, the perception that it was a rebadged work truck persisted. Even the offer of a Mercedes V6 turbo diesel engine, the X350D, was not enough to convince the public and critics. Sales were disappointing, with just over 15,000 units sold in 2019 across markets like Europe, Australia, and Latin America. The lack of originality and the feeling that Mercedes had taken a shortcut resulted in its quiet discontinuation in 2020, just 3 years after its launch. Meanwhile, the Nissan Frontier continues its successful trajectory, maintaining its authentic and accessible identity, proving that borrowed luxury is not always the key to victory in all segments. Section 2. The epilogue of an era. Pontiac G3 and Chevrolet Aveo. In 2009, the curtain was about to fall for one of General Motors' most iconic brands, Pontiac. And, ironically, its last gasp came in the form of a car that could barely be called a Pontiac, the Pontiac G3. Far from being an innovation, the G3 was, in fact, a rebadged Chevrolet Aveo, which in turn had its roots in the Daewoo Kalos, a Korean vehicle. This web of borrowed identities reveals GM's desperate attempt to keep Pontiac relevant, but which ultimately sealed its fate. The G3 was a car of compromises, with a modest 1.6-liter engine and 106 horsepower, which prioritized fuel economy and low cost around $15,000. However, its simplicity translated into a Spartan interior, full of hard plastics and uninspired design. The driving experience was more a necessity than a pleasure, and the car failed to captivate the public, selling fewer than 7,000 units in the US before Pontiac's closure in 2010. The case of the G3 is a grim reminder that badge engineering, when poorly executed or applied to a soulless product, can accelerate a brand's decline, rather than save it. Section 3. The dilemma of the award-winning car. Mazda 2 and Scion IA, Toyota Yaris IA. Imagine a car that collects international awards, acclaimed by critics and recognized for its engineering. This was the Mazda 2, winner of the World Car of the Year in 2008 and the Japanese Car of the Year in 2014. However, in the United States, this remarkable little car failed to replicate the same success. Faced with the indifference of the American market, Mazda made a strategic decision to give its award-winning compact up for adoption by Toyota. In 2015, the Mazda 2 sedan was reborn as the Scion IA, an attempt by Toyota to attract a younger audience with a new name and minimalist aesthetic touches. The hope was that the new badge and targeted marketing would make a difference. Unfortunately, the strategy did not have the desired effect, and the Scion brand was discontinued a year later, with dismal sales of the IA. But the story doesn't end there. Toyota, persistent, removed the Scion badge, renamed the car the Toyota Yaris IA, and continued to sell it, maintaining the same mechanical base and interior. Eventually, the IA was dropped, and the car became known simply as the Toyota Yaris. In 2020, Toyota quietly ended production of the Yaris in the US, proving that sometimes, not even aggressive rebranding can save a product that the market simply didn't embrace. This case is a strong example that a car's success goes beyond its intrinsic merits, depending crucially on brand perception and alignment with consumer demands. Section 4. The dynamic duo of the 92nd Mitsubishi 3000 GT and Dodge Stealth. In the early 1992nd, an unusual collaboration between Mitsubishi and Chrysler gave birth to a pair of supercoupes that promised cutting-edge technology and breathtaking performance. The Mitsubishi 3000 GT and its American alter ego, the Dodge Stealth. Born from the same production line in Japan, these vehicles shared the same robust chassis, the same powerful engine, and the same precise transmissions. The top versions, such as the 3000 GT VR4 and the Dodge Stealth RT twin-turbo, were true machines, equipped with a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 that delivered an impressive 300 horsepower. However, Mitsubishi reserved an ace up its sleeve for its own model: advanced active aerodynamic technology, a feature that even the coveted Porsche 911 second of the time did not possess. This exclusivity of the 3000 GT compared to the Dodge Stealth perhaps explains the disparity in their sales trajectories. While the 3000 GT sold over 150,000 units in the US, becoming a cult icon, the Stealth sold only about 65,000 before being quietly discontinued. The case of this duo illustrates how small engineering differences and, more importantly, marketing strategies and brand positioning can shape the destiny of essentially identical vehicles, turning one into a legend and the other into a footnote in automotive history. Section 5. The Silent Revolution, Toyota BZ4X and Subaru Solterra. At the epicenter of the automotive transition to electrification, a pair of vehicles emerges that embodies strategic collaboration in its most modern form: the Toyota BZ4X and the Subaru Solterra. These electric SUVs, at first glance, might even confuse the most attentive observers, such as the similarity in their lines and proportions. And it's no wonder. They are, in essence, the same machine, born from an intelligent partnership to accelerate both brands' entry into the competitive electric vehicle market. Sharing Toyota's advanced eTNGA platform, as well as vital electric powertrain components like batteries and motors, they represent a watershed moment for their respective automakers. The distinctions between the BZ4X and the Solterra are subtle, yet strategically positioned to attract different consumer profiles. While Toyota, with its vast experience in electrification, seeks a broader appeal focused on efficiency, even offering a front-wheel drive version to optimize range, Subaru maintains its reputation for robustness and off-road capability, making the Solterra available exclusively with all-wheel drive in the US. This approach allows each brand to imprint its identity, whether through minor design adjustments, suspension calibration, or marketing strategies. The result is a duo of EVs that offers cutting-edge performance and technology with the flexibility to meet different preferences, proving that joining forces can be the fastest and most efficient path to the future of electric mobility. Section 6. The Duo of Giants, GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500. At the heart of the American pickup truck market, where robustness and capability are sacred attributes, General Motors dominates with a badge engineering strategy that few perceive. The imposing GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500 are, in essence, the same vehicle, sharing the same platform. An identical range of engines including the powerful 2.7-liter four-cylinder turbo, the 5.3 and 6.2-liter Vate-second, and the torquey 3.0-liter Duramax diesel, and the same transmission. Even the towing capacity is practically identical, with the Silverado pulling 13,300 pound and the Sierra 13,200 pound. Where does the distinction lie then? In market positioning and trim details. GMC elevates the Sierra to a premium level with a bolder design, flashier grills, an abundance of chrome, and an interior that flirts with the luxury of high-end SUVs. Models like the Denali and Denali Ultimate boast genuine wood, stitched leather, and a digital instrument cluster that exudes sophistication. In contrast, the Silverado remains true to its more utilitarian roots, offering the essentials in entry-level models with simpler materials and a focus on functionality. This differentiation is reflected in the price, with the Sierra starting more expensively and reaching significantly higher values in top versions. It is a testament to GM's mastery in creating the perception of exclusivity and added value from a common base, serving different consumer segments with the same fundamental product. Section 7. The Illusion of Choice. Chrysler Town & Country and Dodge Grand Caravan. In the minivan universe, Chrysler orchestrated one of the most audacious badge engineering maneuvers, creating the illusion of two distinct options where, in reality, there was only one. The Chrysler Town & Country and the Dodge Grand Caravan were, in essence, identical twins, sharing the same platform. The powerful 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine with 283 horsepower and the 6-speed automatic transmission. The driving dynamics, passenger capacity, and even the ingenious stow-and-go system, which allowed the seats to fold flat into the floor to maximize cargo space, were identical in both models. Chrysler's genius lay in how these minivans were packaged and positioned in the market. The Dodge Grand Caravan assumed the role of the more affordable and practical option, with an inviting starting price and a focus on functionality for families and fleets. Its materials were simpler, and the design more direct. In contrast, the Chrysler Town & Country was the embodiment of luxury and sophistication in the segment, with premium finishes, leather upholstery, a power liftgate, tri-zone climate control, and available rear seat entertainment systems. This differentiation of perception, built on the same foundation, allowed Chrysler to dominate the minivan market for years, offering the same product with distinct guises to meet different expectations and budgets. The Town & Country was replaced by the more modern Chrysler Pacifica in 2016, while the Grand Caravan had a more discreet farewell in 2020, marking the end of an era of automotive twins. Section 8. The Crossover Synergy. Ford Escape and Mazda Tribute. In the early 2010s, the automotive landscape witnessed the flourishing of the compact SUV segment, and two giants, Ford and Mazda, joined forces in a strategic collaboration. From this partnership, the Ford Escape and the Mazda Tribute were born, vehicles that, although bearing distinct badges, shared a solid and efficient foundation. Launched in 2001, both offered the same engine options, a 2-liter 4-cylinder and a more powerful 3-liter V6, delivering around 200 horsepower, and the flexibility of front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, adapting to both urban use and more challenging adventures. Despite the almost perfect mechanical identity, the personality of each model was carefully sculpted to reflect the essence of their respective brands. The Escape embraced a more robust and traditional look, aligned with Ford's family aesthetic, conveying a sense of durability and practicality. The Tribute, on the other hand, sought to inject the dynamism and elegance characteristic of Mazda, with more fluid lines and a slightly sportier proposal. Interestingly, even with almost identical cabins, the small variations in dashboards, button layouts, and trim materials were enough to create a perception of difference. However, the market spoke louder. While the Escape established itself as a bestseller and a pillar of the Ford lineup for decades, the Tribute had a more discreet trajectory, being replaced in 2011 by the more distinctive Mazda CX-5. This case demonstrates how, even with a technically superior product, brand perception and alignment with consumer expectations are crucial for long-term success. Section 9. The Unexpected Hybrid. Saab 9-2X and Subaru Impreza. In the mid-2002, General Motors, then a Subaru shareholder, conceived an audacious strategy to revitalize Saab, a brand known for its peculiar engineering and Scandinavian design. Instead of investing in the development of an entirely new model, the solution found was an unusual marriage. The Subaru Impreza wagon would be the basis for the new Saab 9-2X, affectionately nicknamed Saabaru by enthusiasts. The idea was to infuse Japanese robustness and performance with Swedish refinement and safety. The Saab 9-2X inherited the best of its Japanese sibling, the legendary boxer engine, symmetrical all-wheel drive, and agile, rally-ready handling. The Aero version, in particular, was a disguised Subaru WRX with its 227 turbocharged horsepower. However, Saab didn't just rebadge it. There was considerable effort to Europeanize the vehicle with the grille replacement, the addition of sound insulation for a quieter ride, the recalibration of the suspension for superior comfort, and interior enhancements. The goal was for the 9-2X to look and feel like a legitimate Saab, even with a Japanese heart. Despite being a technically competent car and an interesting attempt to position Saab in the premium compact market, the 9-2X did not take off in sales, totaling less than 11,000 units in the US before being discontinued in 2006. Its history, however, transformed it into a cult classic, a testament to badge engineering that sometimes creates unique and memorable vehicles, even if misunderstood in their time. Section 10. The Sports Car Dance. Toyota GR86 and Subaru BRZ. On the stage of accessible sports cars, two names shine with almost identical intensity: the Toyota GR86 and the Subaru BRZ. At first glance, they might seem like fierce rivals, but the truth is that these speedsters share a deep brotherhood, born from an ingenious collaboration. Both are the result of joint development built on the same Subaru assembly line in Japan. This means that beneath their elegantly sculpted bodies beats the same heart, a 2.4-liter four-cylinder boxer engine delivering 228 horsepower with an unmistakable mechanical symphony. Chassis, suspension, and the options for a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission mirror each other, ensuring a visceral and purist driving experience in both models. But if the essence is the same, where does the difference lie? The magic is in the details, in the fine-tuning that each brand imparts to reflect its philosophy. While Toyota, with its GR badge, seeks a slightly more aggressive, track-oriented feel, even offering exclusive benefits like access to high-performance events and specific tuning parts, Subaru maintains its tradition of more neutral handling and an unwavering connection with its loyal fanbase. The choice between the GR86 and the BRZ then becomes a matter of nuance, a personal preference for a touch of aggression or balance, but always with the certainty of acquiring one of the last bastions of analog sports cars in a world dominated by SUVs. The real victory here belongs to the consumer, who benefits from cutting-edge engineering optimized by collaboration without having to break the bank. We have reached the final point of this revealing journey, where we unveiled the intricate web of badge engineering that permeates the automotive industry. We traveled a path that led us from agile sports cars to electric SUVs and luxury pickups, all sharing a fundamental truth: that similarity is often the basis for apparent diversity. This practice, driven by the incessant pursuit of efficiency, the need to optimize investments, and agility in responding to market demands, redefines the very concept of brand identity. Does the shine of a badge still truly matter? Or have the underlying engineering and the vehicle's value proposition become the true pillars of the purchasing decision? The future of mobility, with electrification and increasing technological complexity, points to a scenario of even more intense collaboration between automakers. The boundaries between brands may become increasingly fluid, and innovation will be intrinsically linked to the ability to share knowledge and resources intelligently. We hope this exploration has opened your eyes to the realities behind the cars we see on the streets, and that you now feel more empowered to make conscious automotive choices. If you felt provoked, informed, or simply entertained by this analysis, please like this video, share it with friends and family who also love cars, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next investigations into the secrets of the automotive world. Your curiosity drives us to continue unraveling.